Hello, my name is Azulina Irina. I'm from TFL3A group, and during this term I worked on the research project, which title is The Impact of English-Russian False Friends on ELT Classes. This study explores the impact and role of false friends on Russian-speaking learners on ELT classes. Students learning a foreign language face difficulties with false friends because students are likely to identify the words wrongly due to the language interference. The following article will define false friends using examples in Russian and English languages. The aim of this study is to raise awareness in avoiding misunderstanding, which English-Russian false friends can cause. Moreover, I defined three main research questions which I wanted to examine. Also, I defined the types of cognates, the techniques which could be used in teaching cognates on ELT classes. When I was conducting a questionnaire, I noticed that almost all participants do not know the definition of the term false friends. So let me define them. Cognates, also called as true cognates or true friends, are words which have similar in spelling, in pronunciation and meaning in two languages. False friends or false cognates are those words which are similar in spelling and pronunciation but different in the meaning between two languages. Also, false friends are divided into total and partial. Nowadays, the global development in the socio-cultural background of intercultural communication has great influence on the importance of enabling the study of English language in the school curriculum. So after the collapse of the Soviet Union, Kazakhstan, as a country which gained its independence, became the home of diverse ethnic population in addition to the titular Kazakh nation. So the Russian language seems still to be the dominant language of intercultural communication, so that the English-Russian false friends are a huge problem in Kazakhstan. Lado suggested that it can be argued that teachers should investigate similarities and differences between L1 and L2 in order to be able to identify potential learners' difficulties. This study presents an analysis of the impact of English-Russian false friends on ELT classes, and it explores the using of false friends by Russian-speaking students of SDU. The aim of the study requires a quantitative analysis, since it seeks to understand and check students' problems of the use of false friends. The population of this study, defined as third-year students of the Faculty of Philology and Pedagogical Science in SDU. The level of participants is upper intermediate, and the survey was conducted within a group of 52 Russian-speaking students. The result of this work was to identify the degree of recognition of false friends. I was interested if participants could distinguish between false cognates and true cognates, and what factors influenced on the process of recognition of cognates. It is performed 30 words. For the group, 20 words were false friends and 10 words were true friends. And mainly it is used an informal approach in this study with the help of Russian-speaking students. Searched out a percent of recognition of false friends. The participants are all at the same age and at the same gender. Also, the participants are the future teachers of foreign language and students of linguistic universities that speak at least 2 Go languages. The first step of the research was to find English-Russian false friends and to make a questionnaire. The next step was a questionnaire survey. Participants were identify 30 cognates and share their opinion about the importance of teaching English-Russian cognates and in ELT classes. It was appropriate to limit the time of the task performance up to the 10 minutes, and using reference materials were forbidden. It was used a statistical approach while summing up the results. Basing on the statistical approach, you can see summary table. Analyzing these materials, there are several conclusions from this study. Even future English language teachers cannot recognize most of the false friends. Only 22 participants could recognize the true cognate pair. No one can recognize such false friend as principal and production. Only one participant could recognize the false friend sympathy. And most problematic false friends are prospect, cabinet, paragraph, gymnasium, and alley. Almost all participants didn't know the term false friend. Participants agreed that sometimes false friends can cause difficulties for them and cause misunderstanding. Mostly difficulties are during the communication. More than the half of participants agree that teaching materials should be based on constructive analysis of learners L1 and L2 and should pay attention on cognates, both true and false cognates. As the false friends is a big problem for those whose first language is Russian language, I found the solution for this problem. Here you can see some games. Why games? Because teachers usually resort to unappealing tasks, often translation-based activities, boring list of words which are often discouraging for learners. And the present paper aims to propose some tasks to arouse the students' interest in English false friends and present a good combination of language games, visual tasks, other activities which can be useful for the teaching English-Russian false friends. According to Richard Amato, games in ELT classes are highly beneficial because students are engaged in these activities, they are involved in the process, and games reduce anxiety. So such games are like playing categories, one picture out, building flower like a diagram, and word search. Also, I suggested that in order to make tasks more difficult, English language teachers can teach English-Russian false friends through the project-based learning. The experiment shows that part of false cognates are so assimilated that they remain unrecognizable and nothing gives them out. For participants, as they said, it seems that the words similar in spelling and in pronunciation in both languages don't cause any difficulties. They just simplify the communication in the target language. The number of recognition of false friends among learners, English and Russian languages, isn't accidentally high. There is a quite reasonable explanation for this. People just didn't see characteristic signs of English and Russian close friends, as they simply didn't know about them. But they see that these words are widely used, in the same time cause misunderstanding while communication.